What's up, guys? This is Casey, and welcome back to the channel. So today is going to be your second stimulus check update and second stimulus update for August 24th, 2020. And we actually have quite a bit to discuss today, so hopefully you guys stay with me to the end of the video. Now, presidential nominee Joe Biden, he has stated during his campaign that he wants to not only provide a second stimulus check, but how about getting a third stimulus check? Y'all heard that right. Presidential nominee Joe Biden not only wants to provide a third stimulus check, and a second, but he also wants to extend unemployment benefits even more so than we currently have now, and he even wants to forgive student loans. So today we're going to go over exactly what his economic plan is and kind of entail if that's even possible. Now, as millions of Americans are waiting for Congress to approve and send a second round of stimulus payments, presidential nominee Joe Biden, he wants people to receive 2 additional payments. Now, Congress has not yet reached an agreement on the 5th stimulus relief package. Now, something a lot of you guys may not be aware of is that Congress has actually already approved 4 stimulus relief packages. It's just that only one of those included stimulus checks for Americans. So the other 4 stimulus relief packages, they actually included relief for businesses. And so we're waiting on the 5th one, which is going to hopefully give Americans a second stimulus check, which is what everyone's kind of waiting on. Now, lawmakers, they are scheduled to return back to work in September. So we got a little bit of time, which is after Labor Day weekend. And hopefully Republicans and Democrats can finally draft and approve a stimulus relief package because we've been waiting on one. Now, while Americans are waiting for Congress to come to an agreement, I guess Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden, he's taken it upon himself to just say that if he is elected in November, he is going to give us 2 additional rounds of stimulus checks. He said that if he wins in November and if he takes over the White House, he's willing to send a second round of stimulus payments from what he says jumpstart the economy. Not only that, but he's also proposing a $4 trillion tax increase to fund a collection of federal programs to pull the U.S. out of recession. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I really hope that if he's going to do this, that the $4 trillion is going to be from taxing companies and not individuals, because we get taxed enough already. So that's a lot of money when you think about that. That's like basically 2 stimulus payment plans that we've already kind of gone through. And he's like, yeah, he's going to do that to pull us out of the recession. So hopefully, we're going to pull that money from. You're going to have to obviously pull that from businesses because, individuals just don't have that. Now, under his plan, he also wants to create an $8,000 annual tax credit for parents of young children to cover the cost of health insurance for newly employed people, and of course, send another round of second checks. In addition to that, he also wants to implement paid sick leave for workers. This is a lot of stuff, y'all, and I'm really hoping that he is actually true to his word if he does get elected, but I just would like to know where all this is going to come from because this is quite a bit of things that's going to require quite a bit of money. Now, even though Joe Biden, he's talked about his economic plans amid the coronavirus pandemic, he did not specify the amount of money he plans to send in the 3rd round. So while he says he wants to send a 3rd stimulus check, he hasn't exactly said how much. So that could be 400,000, who knows. Now, another subject that he also touched on about was including a $700 billion initiative to shore up U.S. manufacturing and research programs from what he says to spur innovation at home. Not exactly sure what that means. So he wants to basically do another $700 billion for U.S. manufacturing and research. We don't know if that's going to go to private companies. We don't know if that's going to go to public, to government, for hiring. We're not exactly sure about that. But, he's, once again, another program that he wants to pull. He wants to kind of grow and add money and pull into the economy. Now, in addition to this, another really big thing that the presidential nominee Joe Biden wants to do is he wants student loan forgiveness. This has been a very hot topic on the campaign trail and in the halls of Congress, from Senator Bernie Sanders, who wants to forgive the $1.6 trillion of all student loan debt, to Senator Elizabeth Warren, who's proposing to forgive student loans for 95% of Americans, to presidential candidates, to additional candidates. Now, in Congress, House Democrats, they did propose to forgive $10,000 of student loans for borrowers struggling financially, while senators said $10,000 of student loan debt should be canceled just flat out. There have even been proposals to cancel $50,000 of student loan debt and to forgive student loans due to the coronavirus completely. But what does Biden want? Well, in response to the pandemic, Biden proposed a student loan forgiveness plan to cancel up to $10,000 in student loan debt for each borrower. However, he did not support wide-scale student loan forgiveness that will forgive all the student loan. But the next question is, does he support any other student loan forgiveness? And the answer to that is yes. Not only does he want to cancel up to $10,000, but he is discussing canceling, or I should say forgiving, all undergraduate tuition from 2- and 4-year public colleges and universities. That's awesome. So Biden also would forgive all undergraduate tuitions for borrowers who earn $125,000 or less per year, and who graduate from a privately from a private historically black college or university, basically an HBU. Now, if you guys not aware, this is very similar to what they're doing in the state of New York right now, because in the state of New York, if you make under a certain amount of money, you actually can go to a 4-year college for free, which is really awesome because a lot of other countries throughout the world, first world countries specifically, are allowing this. And we're actually one of the very few countries on the world that does not provide free, I don't know if the word free is right, but does not provide I guess subsidized or universal education. So the fact that he does want to do that, I actually think is a very good thing. So the next question is, can a president actually cancel student loan debt? Now, while candidates and legislators alike can offer proposals, it's questionable whether a president, sitting or not, without congressional approval, can solely cancel student loan debt. Now, Joe Biden, who was a U.S. Senator for nearly 40 years, he stated that he would work with Congress to implement legislation to cancel student loan debt rather than act unilaterally as president. Now, traditionally, when presidents or presidential candidates propose policy initiatives, their plans are usually what we call prescriptive, which means that they prescribe the action to take place that they want Congress to take. Now, if Republicans maintain that if they maintain control of the Senate after the November elections, it may be more challenging to pass any kind of comprehensive student loan forgiveness bill, but it's still doable. Now, it's also important to note that not everyone even agrees that only Congress can cancel student loan debt. For example, Senator Warren, as a presidential candidate, she said that the U.S. Department of Education does have the authority to cancel student loan debt entirely. Warren, who's been a leading advocate for student loan forgiveness for many, many years now, and the student loan crisis, a leading student loan advocacy nonprofit, she stated that she believes that that the U.S. Department of Education can forgive up to 1.2 million people's student loans. Now, Warren also said that if she were elected president, she would instruct the Secretary of Education to actually begin the student loan forgiveness process on day one of her administration. Wow, that is crazy. She flat out said that she would start to use the existing laws on day one to implement the student loan forgiveness, and that is what she wants to do. Now, while the Department of Education can actually cancel the federal student loans due to like death, disability, or fraud, many people would argue whether or not they can just flat out do it without any kind of congressional approval outside of those guidelines. And I don't know, y'all. You have Republicans that are saying that we have a lot of money that's already kind of circulating in the economy, and then you have the Democrats that are saying, no, we need lots more money. We want student loan forgiveness. We want tax breaks. We want all these other incentives to be provided. And I just don't exactly know, where we are with this in terms of funding. If the Democrats do get in office come November, where we're going to get this money from, where we're going to find the $4 trillion, and tax collecting to fund all these programs. Keep in mind, guys, that the first stimulus I should say, what do we call it? The first stimulus, I guess, program that provided the stimulus checks back in a few months ago. Well, that was a $2 trillion program, right? And now they're talking about doing another $1.5 trillion program. Well, the types of taxes that the Democrat Biden wants to raise are actually, it's actually more than that. It's more than even both stimulus programs combined. So it would be very interesting to find out whether or not he wants to raise taxes on individuals, if he wants to raise payroll taxes, or if he's going to charge companies and institutions a higher tax for their profits. So it will be very interesting to find out. But nevertheless, it's at least good entertainment to see that people are, right now they're on the campaign trail and promising all these big things, and then, we'll see, who knows. But, it's good to see that at least that we have discussions going, and they are at least acknowledging that people do need help. So that's a positive thing. Well, guys, this is the latest. I really hope you guys have stayed to the end of the video. If you have, I really can't thank you enough for the support, and hopefully you guys found this video entertaining. If you haven't already, please highly recommend that you guys subscribe to the channel. Also, please make sure that you like and smash that like button, because basically that really helps out a lot for the YouTube algorithms. Now, if you guys are not aware, this is a financial education channel, but I've been doing a lot of videos recently with the stimulus updates because I've been getting asked a lot about that. And because we have the elections that have been upcoming, it's really interesting to see the promises that both parties are, I guess, putting out there to attempt to get reelected again. So I'm going to keep you guys up to date. So I really appreciate the support. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll talk to you guys later. Take care.